Hey, good morning and welcome to Rick's Retirement Journey. My wife and I were on a little bit of a road trip, but while I'm out here, I thought I'd go ahead and put together a video real quick for you. I remember about a week or two ago, I did a video about 10 things to do instead of watching television. Well, let me follow up with the next 10 things to do instead of watching television. So let's go to number 11. Read aloud to someone. I remember reading aloud to my children and my grandchildren, but every now and then, my wife and I, we like to read aloud to one another. Uh, Gives the one person an opportunity to kind of use their imagination, whereas the other person gets to use some of their vocal skills and make sure that they're still able to one read and number two speak clearly without mumbling. So yeah, if you get an opportunity, read to someone. Next one, plan a picnic or a barbecue. We all love a picnic. We all love a barbecue. Even if you just invite real close family and friends, just do something small. Burgers, dogs, uh, barbecue, steaks, baked potatoes, corn. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it right now. So do that instead of watching television. How about go bird watching? In fact, I actually go bird watching almost every day. I get up in the morning, get myself a cup of coffee, I'm sitting out on the deck, and I just watch the birds in my backyard, go to the bird feeders. They're in competition with the squirrels, and so it's pretty interesting to watch, cardinals and blue jays and others that get out there and eat. But it's pretty interesting and it's very relaxing as well. Volunteer for a community organization or charity. I think one thing that makes people feel good is volunteering for something. I think in one of the episodes on Buzz Retirement Garage, I had mentioned that I volunteer at the National Museum of the Marine Corps here near Quantico, Virginia. And it's probably one of the best feelings to be able to tell a story. But at the same time, there are all sorts of community and volunteer organizations that are out there that you can, help contribute to, be it food banks, homeless shelters, heck, even volunteering at a local school or something like that when school's in session. So yeah, get on out there, volunteer for the community, help make the community better, and I think you might enjoy it a little bit. So the next one is jump rope. If you have not jumped roped in a while, you may want to start real slow. I haven't jumped rope in years, and I know one thing that if I were to start doing something like that, I may end up hurting myself. But heck, even if you just get on out there and jump rope 5, 6, maybe up to 10 times, and stop and kind of just take a just see how it feels. And you never know. You may get into it, and it may be another form of exercise that you want to do, while you're continuing your physical program, that us retirees should be doing. Uh, I'm not really an arts and crafts person, but make a friendship bracelet. Sometimes arts and crafts can be really relaxing. Friendship bracelet, heck, make one for your wife, make one for your husband, make some for your grandchildren, and just say, hey, here's something that grandma or grandpa made for you, and you never know, they may really appreciate it and appreciate the thought that you thought about them. Put their name on it. Have different colors. Find out what their favorite color is and use different hues or shades. I think they would really appreciate it a lot. I'm not sure if your friends would appreciate it, but I'm pretty sure that your family members would. But then again, at the same time, going back to community things, you can make a bunch of friendship bracelets and volunteer those, or give them away to charities, and they can always give them to somebody else and make somebody else happy as well. Let's see. Let's go to write a letter to a friend or relative. In this day of electronics, we'll send a text, we'll send an email. But how often do you um, break out a piece of paper, break out a pen or a pencil, and jot down a note, jot down some free notes, so that let somebody know that you're thinking about them. I did this the other day, but I think I did it primarily because I had a family member who just graduated from high school, and I actually wrote him a letter, expressing how proud I was of them to to complete such a great goal of theirs. In fact, I actually wrote another letter to a friend of mine that I had served in the military with, and I had sent him a few items, Marine Corps items, stickers, etc. And I just tossed in a note and said, hey, how you doing, etc., etc. So break out that pen, break out that piece of paper, break out an envelope, break out a stamp, and write your friend or maybe a family member a letter instead of just sending them a text. And I'm quite sure that they'll really appreciate it a lot. Next one of my favorites: baking cookies or bread. I can bake cookies. Cookies are easy, especially when you get the dough that comes right out of the package. You can just slice it up or peel it off and just put it on the pan, greased pan, and just go for it. But it takes a little bit something extra when you want to bake some bread or make some cupcakes or something like that. But that can be a real relaxing thing to do as a retiree. Just break it out. Just say, hey, today I'm going to make some cupcakes. I'm going to put some sprinkles on there. Or I think some people call them jimmies. I've never heard of jimmies before. But yeah, sprinkles on top of cupcakes. Do some baking. Bake some bread. Bake some cupcakes. But do something like that, and you can also share those with your family. And if you really want to bake a whole bunch, share those with the community. Share those with a homeless shelter. I think they would really like some homemade goods as well. Plant a flower, vegetable, or herb garden. I think many of us that are retirees are slowly getting into the gardening or the flower bed type things. I know we've got some herbs, we got some vegetables, and I find it relaxing to go out there and weed them from time to time, to break off the dead branches like on the tomato plants and things like that. But just to see something grow, they're not children, they're not grandchildren or children growing, but they're something that you're taking care of, making sure they've got good fertilizer or whatever the case may be. But yeah, plant yourself a garden, plant yourself some herbs, and reap the benefits of having something that you've grown on your dinner table. I think that would be pretty awesome. Now let's go to the last one: read the newspaper or a magazine. When was the last time you read the newspaper or a magazine? We do get a few magazines, primarily AAA, AARP, things like that. And I enjoy sitting down and reading through those and going through the articles and sharing articles with my wife, and sharing articles with friends and family and things like that. But yeah, sit down, take some time for yourself. Not only reading a magazine, read a book. Take some notes. Add it to a letter while you're eating some cookies that you made, and watching your plants grow. But hey, that's what I got for the next 10 things to do instead of watching television. Turn off that TV, turn off the internet, do something with your mind, do something with your body, and just continue to enjoy life. Life is good. I have no complaints. Today, in fact, I actually feel really comfortable. I had some waffles for breakfast with some butter, some maple syrup, and no, I didn't grow the flour or the wheat to make the flour, and no, I didn't tap into trees to make the syrup, and no, I did not churn the milk to make it into butter, but the waffles were good. But hey, that's all I got for now. Please like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I look forward to next time. But until then, Rick out.